Can a recruit from Ohio land at Bama? It won't be easy, but we're betting on it. Subscribe to the channel before the news arrives. The Alabama team continues to set high standards, not only on the field, but also in its recruiting strategies. With the recent news that four-star linebacker Sincere Johnson has secured an official visit to Tuscaloosa, it's clear that Alabama is positioning itself for another big recruiting success. Sincere Johnson, a talented linebacker from Glenville, Ohio, has emerged as one of the best in his class, being the number 8 prospect at his position and the 120th overall prospect in the On3 industry rankings. His decision to visit Alabama on May 31st demonstrates the prestige and attraction that Kalen DeBoer's coaching staff has for the best young players in the country. The 2026 recruiting season is heating up, and as spring practice approaches, colleges are stepping up their efforts to secure commitments from top prospects. Johnson's official visits to Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio State, a top contender in the running with Bama, and USC underscore the fierce competition for his signature. However, it's Alabama's tradition and winning culture that could be the deciding factor in luring Johnson to the Crimson Tide. During his visit to Alabama for its Junior Day event in February, Johnson had the opportunity to get a first-hand look at the state-of-the-art infrastructure and dedicated coaching staff. Johnson's trip to Tuscaloosa was not only an experience for him, but also a testament to Alabama's commitment to providing an environment that fosters talent development. While Ohio State and USC are also in the running to recruit Johnson, Alabama's history of producing elite players and coaching expertise under the leadership of Kalen DeBoer are unmatched. The competition is tough, but the confidence in DeBoer's ability to mold and develop young talent is a significant differentiator. College coaches are taking every opportunity to communicate their vision and connect with Johnson, even during the off-season when in-person contact is limited. Kalen DeBoer's ability to build strong relationships and communicate Alabama's culture and values through virtual communication is a testament to his skill as a recruiter. As Sincere Johnson prepares for his official visits this summer, the prospect of seeing him suit up for the Alabama Crimson Tide is an exciting prospect for all fans of the team. Kalen DeBoer's tradition, coaching excellence, and inspirational leadership put Alabama in a prime position to land another top talent. Let's get going! College football recruiting is a never-ending battle. And Bama is in the running with Oregon. Oregon is looking to secure the commitment of Jonas Walton, a four-star running back in the class of 2026 whose talent promises to be a game-changer for any program that lands his signature. But Bama is in the running. With historic rivals like Alabama, Notre Dame, Georgia, and Florida in the running, the fight for Walton is far from easy. However, Oregon has demonstrated an impressive ability to position itself among the top teams in the national recruiting process. No better than Alabama, of course. Walton, who plays for Central High School in Carrollton, Georgia, is ranked as the 10th best running back in his class by 247 Sports. His ability on the field is undeniable. He combines explosive speed with physical strength, as well as a keen vision to find gaps in opposing defenses. These attributes make him a versatile player who can impact both the running game and the passing game. Teams like Ohio State, Texas, and Michigan all tried to land him, but they didn't make his final list of 10 schools. That only adds to the prestige of the programs that are still in the running, and Oregon is well positioned among them. He's visited several campuses throughout the recruiting process, including Tennessee and Notre Dame, where he's attended events like Junior Days. Those visits suggest he's carefully weighing his options, considering both academics and athletic opportunities. While Tennessee has a head start due to Walton's repeated visits to Knoxville, Oregon can't be ruled out. Although I don't think that's the reality. Walton would be the perfect finishing touch to this class, further elevating the talent pool for any team's offense. Alabama, led by Kalen DeBoer, continues to be a machine for attracting elite talent, while Notre Dame offers the combination of academic and athletic tradition that many players value. Other SEC teams, such as Georgia and Florida, are also in the running, and we know that this conference has an almost irresistible appeal for many prospects from the southern United States. It is worth mentioning that Dan Lanning has demonstrated a remarkable ability to connect with recruits and present a clear development plan. For Walton, who is looking to maximize his potential both on and off the field, Oregon could offer a complete package that is hard to ignore. The 2025 regular season will be a great contest. Who will come out on top? You can place your bets. Currently ranked outside the top 50 in recruiting rankings by several news sites, the Crimson Tide are looking to turn that around with a concerted effort to attract top-tier talent. Among those efforts, for star offensive tackle Sam Roseborough has emerged as a key player who could help not only bolster the team's offensive line but also boost the 2026 recruiting class. Roseborough, a player from Clearwater High School in Florida, is an impressive prospect. He may seem a bit undersized to face the SEC's brutal defenses right off the bat, but his athleticism and strength make up for any initial physical shortcomings. He consistently dominates opponents, creating openings for running backs to exploit and demonstrating a rare combination of speed and power. When he comes off the line, Roseborough often overwhelms linebackers and defensive ends with an explosiveness that has caught the attention of scouts across the country. Ranked as the 9th best offensive tackle in the 2026 class by On3, he has the potential to become a dominant blocker at the college level and perhaps beyond. Alabama's interest in Roseborough began in May 2024, when the team made its first official offer to the player. However, since then, interactions between the two parties have been limited. The youngster has yet to visit Tuscaloosa, which could be a significant hurdle in the recruiting process. Meanwhile, rivals like Florida and LSU are moving forward with greater aggression. According to On3's recruiting prediction meter, RPM, Florida leads the way with a 31.3% chance of securing a commitment from Roseborough, followed closely by LSU at 27.4%. These schools have already received unofficial visits from the player, something Alabama has yet to achieve. Kalen DeBoer and his staff know that recruiting is a battle that goes far beyond initial offers. To attract a talent like Roseborough, it's crucial to create a personal connection and show why Alabama remains a top destination for players looking to maximize their potential. Scheduling an official visit should be an immediate priority. Showcasing the grandeur of Bryant-Denny Stadium, the state-of-the-art training facilities and the vibrant environment of Tuscaloosa could go a long way. Additionally, Alabama's track record of developing players, especially on the offensive line, is a strong argument DeBoer could use to convince Roseborough that this is where he can flourish. It's worth noting that Alabama has already secured Jackson Lloyd, the 7th-ranked offensive tackle in the 2025 class, and received Arkell Anigwam, a transfer from Ball State who promises to add depth to the offensive line. However, adding Roseborough would be a significant coup for the 2026 class. He would bring versatility and potential to grow within the Crimson Tide system while also helping to elevate the overall level of the group. With 8 rookies currently on the offensive line, including Anigwam and Lloyd, the team is building a solid foundation, but there is still room for impactful pieces like Roseborough. Alabama is planning to host a number of elite prospects this summer, including the likes of Trenton Henderson, Caden Prothro, and Tristan Keys. These visits could serve as an opportunity for the team to impress not only these players, but also other prospects like Roseborough who are still evaluating their options. Creating an atmosphere of energy and competitiveness during these visits will be key to convincing these young talents that Alabama is the right place for them. Recruiting is an art, and Kalen DeBoer knows that every detail counts. From the initial contact to the official visits, everything must be carefully orchestrated to ensure that Alabama remains one of the most coveted programs in the country. With Roseborough still in the early stages of decision-making, there is plenty of time for the Crimson Tide to step up their efforts and show why they should wear the red and white. Alabama's success will depend not only on wins on the field, but also on wins in recruiting. And with the pressure mounting to improve the 2026 class, securing a player like Sam Roseborough would be a major step in the right direction. It remains to be seen whether the team can overcome the onslaught of rivals like Florida and LSU, but one thing is for sure, Alabama isn't going down without a fight. Alabama's 2025 season promises to be an exciting roller coaster, and one game in particular is already being touted as the turning point for the Crimson Tide's fortunes. It's no exaggeration to say that the matchup against Tennessee, scheduled for the third Saturday in October, will be one of the most defining moments in Kalen DeBoer's campaign. ESPN didn't hesitate to call this matchup the defining game of the season for Alabama, and the reasons are clear to anyone who follows the history of this century-old rivalry. The weight of this duel goes far beyond the four lines of Bryant-Denny Stadium. This is a clash loaded with symbolism, tradition, and pressure. In recent years, Alabama's overwhelming dominance over Tennessee seemed unshakable, with Nick Saban putting together an impressive 15-game winning streak. However, times have changed. Tennessee has shown that it can make a difference, winning 2 of the last 3 games in this series. That alone would be enough to put all the spotlight on this matchup, but there's something else at stake: Alabama's home pride. The Vols haven't won a game in Tuscaloosa since 2003, and that streak needs to be preserved at all costs. Kalen DeBoer knows this game comes at a crucial time in the schedule. It's the kind of game that can make or break an entire season. Before the Tennessee matchup, Alabama will face Missouri on the road, and then South Carolina, also on home turf. Those trips will certainly test the team's physical and mental toughness. And while there's a strategic break before the LSU matchup in late October, the picture is clear: a loss to Tennessee would be a near-death blow to the Crimson Tide's college football playoff aspirations. ESPN's Chris Lowe got right to the point when analyzing the impact of this game. He stressed that with a schedule as challenging as 2025, every win counts, especially against direct rivals like Tennessee. With opponents like Georgia, South Carolina, and LSU looming, plus tough non-conference matchups against Florida State and Wisconsin, Alabama simply can't afford to stumble at home. A setback against the Vols would not only tarnish the program's recent legacy, but would likely seal the team's fate outside of the national title conversation. And here's another important factor: the atmosphere at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Few places in college football exude the same overwhelming energy as Tuscaloosa during big games. Alabama fans know this and will be ready to pack the stands, transforming the stadium into a veritable fortress. But as we've seen in recent seasons, even fortresses can be shaken. Tennessee has been growing under the leadership of its young talent, and the confidence gained from recent wins against Alabama is fueling the Vols' momentum. For the Crimson Tide, therefore, the challenge will be enormous. It is impossible to ignore the larger context in which this game takes place. Alabama has always been synonymous with excellence in college football, but recent years have shown that the margin for error has shrunk dramatically. Expectations remain sky high, and the weight of the red jersey is still an intimidating factor. However, modern football demands more than tradition. It demands consistency, adaptability, and, above all, total dedication on the field. Kalen DeBoer has the mission of ensuring that his group is prepared to face these challenges head-on. The bookmakers are also keeping an eye on this matchup. With Alabama's projected regular season win total set at 9.5, it is clear that experts believe the road ahead is difficult, but not impossible. To reach, or even surpass, this mark, the Crimson Tide will need to show their best version in precisely the most difficult games, starting with Tennessee. A win in this matchup would not only strengthen Alabama's position in the playoff race, but it would also send a clear message to the rest of the country: Alabama is still Alabama. As the October date approaches, anticipation among fans grows. This will be a game that will demand everything from the roster, the coaching staff, and, of course, the fans. For Alabama, there is no other option but to win. After all, in Tuscaloosa, home losses against historic rivals like Tennessee are seen as unacceptable. So how will it all play out in your opinion? Now is the time to comment.